Shoutout, Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Tamara, and welcome back.
I feel like you gotta do this.
Oh, Tamara, yes. So, welcome back to the show. If you're new, thank you so much for tuning in. New episodes drop every Thursday, so make sure you check me out one more time and two more times, and just keep on coming back. You feel me? And my day 1, 2, 3, wherever you came in on this journey, thank you so much for continuing whatever. And make sure if you're not, that you are following me on social media. So if you're watching on what is this, YouTube? If you're watching, which if you want to see the visuals, go on and head over to YouTube, and it's the video, but you'll see the social media stuff at the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, the link is in the episode notes. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. We got a special guest, which you'll probably recognize her voice once she gets to talking and whatnot. But I got a great little intro for her because she do what she want to do. Ooh, Lit Life. Hey, we got Autumn the Aries from the Lit Life podcast with us today. Say what's up to the folks.
What up, Tamara to the Break of Dawn podcast listeners? Is this my first time being on here solo with you?
Yeah.
It's some bullshit. See, I ain't gonna talk about you though. It's cool.
You know what? I was thinking about that actually. First of all, I was thinking about how we talked about doing this episode
before you even was doing video. I think we talked about this a long time ago. Actually, we talked about not even this episode, but just me being on your show.
That was like the summertime. I mean, I ain't gonna cap for my people. You know what I mean?
I know. You be the one that be keeping it real.
Yeah, we do that. Yes, we do.
Facts.
Yeah. So. But I was thinking about how we scheduled this episode or discussed it. So we talked about this because of an episode that I listened to of Autumn's, where she kind of talked about what she was going through. But I had already had episodes scheduled out. So I'm like, okay, we gonna do this. But it's just crazy because this is why I'm a firm believer that everything happens when it's supposed to happen, because I needed to do this episode like today, right now. We needed to have this conversation because I've been noticing some stuff in the last week. But before go
ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Because you're probably gonna say what I'm about to say. So go ahead.
Probably not. So you go ahead.
So I was gonna ask what you was drinking.
Oh yeah, I definitely wasn't going there. So which if y'all watch the visuals, y'all probably laugh because every other week I either have my cup with my tea that my daughter gave me. I do have other coffee cups, but these are the bigger ones that I have, or this I don't give a sip. And I am definitely sipping on just some black coffee, some creme brulee creamer, you know what I'm saying, and a shot and a half of rum just for a little razzle dazzle, because y'all know that's just really I decided that instead of sweets, because I'm back on my for real about working out, so I'm even gonna start switching up some stuff I've been eating. I'm gonna go grocery shopping later on after I pick the girls up. So I'm trying to get back serious how I was, because you know what I'm saying, I was looking at some pictures from about June, July, when I was on my keto stuff. And it was looking slimmer than where I am when I posted
I'm right there with you
today,
I'm right there with you. I am right there. I get it.
So now that I'm back serious about working out, I'm like, okay, you can't sabotage what you're doing with your diet, which ties into what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, so you really about to have me in my bag today. All right.
Girl, listen, that and some more stuff. But
it's about to be on.
This is about to be a real life, basically like therapy session, I guess, in this mug. But before we get all into the deep stuff. I didn't know you were sipping. Okay.
So but see, here's what it is. So y'all, I'm a little, I don't even really want to say under the weather, but I have this sinus thing going on again for the second time in like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And
not the Rona though, y'all. Not the Rona.
And it's like it's not like as bad as it was, but this is how it started last time. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I say all that to say that I made myself some tea. It's just Lipton black tea with some honey and some lemon in it. But I was like, I got some liquor down there. I wonder what this would taste like.
Oh, so, okay.
You know what I keep? The liquor that I keep is peach. What is it? Deep Edie or Eddie, deep Eddie peach. And it's so good because I like to make martinis with it, like peach martinis with it. Mm-hmm. So I got like a little shot and I'm gonna just pour it in there and see what it tastes like.
Oh, so we get the live review. Okay. Let's do that.
Because I like peach. I love everything peach. I love peach tea. You know what I'm saying? And usually I mix the peach liquor with Calypso peach. It's peach lemon? Is it peach lemonade? I can't even remember what it is, but that's what I usually drink with it.
Oh, okay.
So let me see what it tastes like.
I ain't never actually. That's a lie. I've had Long Island iced tea.
Okay, that's delicious.
Oh, okay.
Immediately.
Okay.
It's nice and warm. Okay, I'm ready.
You know what? My nail tech, she told me, even though I'm trying to remember, I haven't had eggnog in forever. Ew. Well, that's fine. But she was telling me about eggnog and salted caramel crown. So I'm gonna have to try that. But then I haven't had Fireball in a while because Fireball, okay, the first time I had Fireball was probably 2 years ago because I've always been like selective. Like I drink what I drink and I don't branch out unless somebody introduces me to some new stuff.
Same.
So I had a game night. I miss game nights back when we could just have a whole bunch of people over and just chill. But I had a game night and one of my friends, actually from high school, came in town and she brought like this, I want to say, gallon of Fireball. And
is it, what does it taste like? Is it like cinnamon hot or something?
Yes, it's
okay.
Cinnamon,
I think I've had it before,
but there's a devil on the bottle, so that should tell y'all everything y'all need to know because we in there listening to music and playing games and stuff, and the next thing you know, I'm like, woo, where did this come from? Because I was throwing them back because it tastes good. So then I learned, but see, I didn't really care because it was at my house and I knew I wasn't going to have to go nowhere or whatever. But I want to try like hot apple cider with Fireball. I think that'll be good like around Christmas or maybe even Thanksgiving. Like I want to get into some other hot, like I'm going to try tea and whatever. You're going to have to tell me again what it is, text me.
It's actually really good. Actually, I wish it was a little more warm than what it is, but it's good.
But I'm just very much into this coffee liqueur thing is just my thing.
It's blowing your mind.
It really is. And I never had it before recently. I would have never thought of that. So that's really the only way I drink now is with coffee and alcohol. It's so funny.
That's what's up.
Yep. All right. So Oh, I guess I'll ask you, in the last 7 days, what is one thing that you wish you could have done differently?
Let me think. In the last 7 days,
Mhm.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have worked out before I ran that 5K.
You did do a 5K.
Hmm.
Girl, more power to you, though. You got out there.
It's not enough though.
Mm.
That's why we here. It's not enough.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
I wish I would have. I just wish I would have prepared better for it, and I guess that goes beyond 7 days. But
Mm.
I wish
Yeah.
I would have. I wish I would have prepared better for it.
Mm. Man. I say for me, remember how I told y'all about the little text thread that I had with my family about the election and whatnot? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go, I don't know
Too
if they
deep.
listen.
Right.
Yeah. I in hindsight, I remember feeling like don't respond because I was ignoring the text thread at first. And in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have just went with that because I feel like it's not like it really became this whole dramatic thing, but I just know that when I get irritated, my responses, it's not like I'm ever disrespectful, but I just feel like I'm always the one who's the more vocal one. And maybe I should have just ignored it like my other two siblings completely ignored the
Well,
thing.
why, Tamara? Because like,
Mm.
why do you feel like you had to pipe yourself down? Like that's you. You just said it. I'm the more vocal one. I'm the one that, why change? Why do you feel like you need to change that?
It's interesting because actually, I went over to my mom's house yesterday after I got my nails done, and we were just talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. But I said something about being a passionate person or whatever, and she like laughed and was like, "Yeah, you are," or something. But you could tell how she was trying to say it was not really petty because my mom's not really like that, but like, girl, you know what I mean?
Like if
And
only you knew.
yeah, and while I don't necessarily want to water myself down, I think more so I'm trying to learn the balance of when is it even necessary? Like, was it necessary in that moment? Because really, if someone wouldn't have gotten upset or at least seemed upset the way they responded, I would have just ignored, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like I more so jumped in almost on some Captain Sava type stuff. And that's what I'm saying, trying to learn the balance of like, did I need to say anything in that moment?
Mm-hmm.
I probably could have let that go. Now, how would it be had it have been something directly like she would have kept texting me directly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that would have been a little bit different. And so I'm trying to learn the balance of when to speak and not speak because there is a time for everything. You know what I
I get
mean?
it. I get it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into the topic of today, which, if you see the title, it's about self sabotaging. I'm going to define a couple things real quick because I like to try to make sure everybody's on the same page about what we're talking about and whatnot. So, self sabotaging, so to sabotage, the definition is to destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Okay. And self sabotaging behavior, whether consciously or subconsciously, is done to yourself or your own plan. So it has nothing to do with anybody else. Nobody else is influencing you. And though there are many reasons for self sabotage, three of the most important ones usually involve, and the ones I most resonated with as well, is your thinking patterns, fears you may have about an intimate relationships, or the tendency to avoid things that are difficult or uncomfortable. And so now we know, everybody, what we talking about today and what we finna get into. I guess I'll let you go first. Guess first. What's an area, whatever, and I know you have no problem sharing anything, but first thing that comes to mind when you think of something that you've done, maybe a current struggle.
I have. So for the listeners who don't know, I suffer from like I would say I can say moderate anxiety. And it plays a part in my everyday life. When I say every day, I mean every day. And it could be a happy thing, you know, it could be happy anxiety. It could be, I mean, it could be any type of anxiety. It's not always bad, but I know this, and I know in most cases, if it affects me, I know how to come back from it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes in most cases, I know what to do to psych myself out of it, kind of. But when it comes to certain things, like what was the last thing that you said? You said, what was the third?
So there's fears you have in intimate relationships and the tendency to avoid things that are difficult or uncomfortable.
The tendencies to avoid things that are difficult or uncomfortable. So that's probably my thing. That's probably the way that I self-sabotage. Well, I'm trying to think through it. So I guess that's kind of where it starts. We were talking about the whole snatch 40s, working out.
Yes.
First of all, I lost a whole lot of weight over the course of a couple of years, and I kind of obsess about it now because it's like I never want to get back to where I was. But I will talk myself out of all of the right things to do and talk myself into all of the wrong things to do when it comes to this whole working out thing, and or to this whole like fitness journey, I should say. So it'll be like, you know, I'll hype myself up. I usually start, you know, my week starts on Sunday. So I say, okay, Sunday, you know, I'm a work out 3 days this week. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna run or whatever. In most cases, it's me running, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then Sunday will come and I'll find an excuse. And then Monday will come and I'll find an excuse. And then somebody will say, well, don't be so hard on yourself. We're in a pandemic. You know, you've had all these deaths in your family, and you're doing it, you know, like people kind of cushion it for me. So then I'll be like, all right, well, let me go get this cake. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'll talk myself out of working out because honestly, I don't want to. Who wants to do this? Who wants to work out? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to? And it's because you just don't want to. You just don't feel like going through all that, right? I mean, some people love it. Like some people just absolutely love it. And it's not even like the pain after. It's just like during. It's just like, why is this what I have to put myself through to get to where I want to be, when there's people out here that just literally, you know, I feel like we're born like with this perfect body and, you know, perfect health. And I, you know what I'm saying? Like it just, so all of that, you gather all of that together
Mm-hmm.
and you plug it into my mind. And so then what do? Nothing. I have I ate the cake.
Mm-hmm.
But I have definitely self-sabotaged at that moment, because it's like I would think about it for 2 hours and still not do it. And it could have been done. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's self-sabotage. Why? You're sitting here, you're talking yourself through it. You're taking 2 hours to say, oh, I feel like doing it, or, oh, I don't feel like doing it. Why am I doing that? Whereas on my good days, when it's time for me to get up and just go, or get up and do, or if I don't say that I'm going to work out that day or something, and I just kind of wake up in a mood, I literally get up, and I'm in my head, I'm talking myself out of it for whatever reason. But I'll get up, I put my workout clothes on, put my running shoes on, and I'm out the door. It's so weird. It's like, and that on that day, or one of those instances, nothing could stop me, not even myself. I couldn't even stop myself from going out here and getting it done. So it begs the question, why on most days, you know what I'm saying? Why am I able to sabotage this? I know what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly how I need to eat. I know what I can get away with. I know all these things. And for whatever reason, there's this thing in the back of my mind where the anxiety pushes on it, and I let the anxiety push on it, and I just don't do anything. And it sucks. And I can't blame, like that. I brought up the anxiety because I can't necessarily blame the anxiety for this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I know it's there. I know, yes, sometimes I can't dig myself out of being anxious, but in most cases I can. So it's not like I can't use that as an excuse all the time. I just can't do it. But I don't know if it's, I can't even necessarily say it's, you know, the pandemic, or I can't say it's any of this, because this is something that I've literally struggled with forever. You know what I mean? Like, since I can remember. So that's one thing.
I'd say it's interesting because the part about, let me see what it says, your thinking patterns, and I guess we'll say avoiding things that are uncomfortable. I won't say difficult, because I don't usually necessarily run away from a challenge. I usually try to push myself in those cases. But what I've noticed, and this ties into, yes, working out, of course, but I've been more so noticing this in relationships and even friendships and stuff like that, where but then how it plays out affects the weight, because it's like, I love working out, so working out isn't the problem. It's more so controlling my eating. It's more so not comfort eating, you know, having that as my vice when I'm stressed. That's kind of how I got it. Because let's see, so I'm 40, so I was I'll say when I was 28, I used to smoke cigarettes. When I was 28, I stopped smoking cigarettes. So obviously I was smoking them cigarettes for a reason. So that was my stress reliever, whatever. So then when I stopped that, it would be sweets, it would be cookies, it'd be cake, it would be candy, it'd be whatever will give me that instant gratification of, ooh, I want to feel good in this moment.
Well, you've heard me say several times that, you know, food has always been the one thing. I say it all the time, like food is the one thing that never disappoints. It never ever lets me down. Well, it lets me down sometimes, like taste wise, you know what I'm saying? But in most cases, if if there's anything going on, again, happy moments, sad moments, stress moments, whatever, food is my issue.
Mm.
Aside from, just not feeling like working out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because how the two go together is because when I'm eating right, I want to work out. Or when I'm working out, I want to eat right. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's tough.
Yep.
So I get it.
Yep. And so like that's how that started. And then it just became, what I've noticed though is like even when I'll start back working out is so backwards, because I've noticed when I start back working out, that is when I'll start eating crazy real quick. Now, not the whole time, but it's something in my mind that's like, okay, well, you getting it with the workouts, so you go ahead and have all this stuff. And this
Right.
is all without accountability, because why things are a little bit different right now is because I have someone, shout out to them if they listen to this episode, who's actually my like accountability person. So we follow each other on Apple Watch, and one of the things that they told me specifically, now both my daughters work at McDonald's. Y'all could judge me if y'all want for eating McDonald's from time to time, but it's free. So
Right.
my daughters will literally text me before and be like, do you want anything? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I was sitting, fast food has never been my thing like that until they started working at McDonald's. And so I'd be like, okay, cool. And one of the things they specifically said is don't eat fast food. And it's like, obviously I'm grown and I could do what I want, but when I've asked this person to hold me accountable and they specifically say either you need to do this or you shouldn't do this, I'm the kind of person that I don't want to have to go back to I'm grown and be like, oh, well, I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Right.
So it's kind of like that's helped me with that, because I mean, girl, you could get McFlurries, some most stuff. They got apple pies. Like, it's not just about the burgers
Right.
and stuff. They chocolate chip cookies, like,
and their chicken tenders or whatever they are, them things smack. I ain't gonna
that
lie.
part. So there's
With
that.
the sauce, girl, goodbye.
Mhm. And girl, my daughter's got me into barbecue sauce on the fries. What? Like, yes.
Yep.
So, but without accountability, okay, let's pretend I didn't have accountability, because that's why I asked for accountability, because I know how I am. It's like whenever I first start working out, I don't even know how long, I just eat so reckless, because it's like excuse me, I don't know if it's like I feel like I earned it because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then it's like I can be so driven by how I feel. So I like
Same.
working out, and when things are good, and I've never like gone to get any sort of like, oh, this is, I don't want to say what's wrong with you, but whatever. But I struggle with depression, struggle with anxiety and stuff like that. And whenever I get there and it's too much, especially, a lot of the stuff that's been going on with my daughter and whatnot, it
Mhm.
just puts me in this place of I don't want to do nothing. And then it's like when I don't want to do anything, then it's kind of like, well, then I don't want to get out of bed. I'm sleeping in. And then it's kind of like I noticed that when I stopped keto, which I remember people saying when you stop keto, you're going to gain some weight back. And so
Mhm.
what I tried to do was transition from keto to low carb. And at first I was doing that successfully and it was all good. And then life happened, and then here I am just eating whatever, cakes, cookies, ice cream,
It's the
all
same with
this stuff.
any type of diet, quote
Mhm,
unquote, that you're gonna take something completely out of your
mhm.
everyday diet. So
Yep.
if you pick it back up, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
like that's why I commend people who could do stuff like keto and do it for like a long
I ain't
time, like a
doing that no
long
more.
time.
I ain't doing
But I
that
can't. I have learned throughout my own personal weight loss journey that taking anything out of your diet completely Especially something that you like and something that you probably will have again at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like people who don't eat meat, because people who don't eat meat, they don't eat meat. They like, no, we're not doing that. So I'm not talking about them.
Sister. Yep.
But like carbs, sugar, my thing is sugar. So I stripped one of the reasons why I lost so much weight is because when I say I stopped eating sugar, like almost completely, Tamara. Like there was no sugar in anything that I ate or drank.
Fruit?
When I picked the fruit back up, because I wasn't eating any fruit. I probably didn't have fruit for...
I love fruit.
I do too. And I probably didn't have fruit probably for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Wow.
I didn't have fruit for a very, very long time because I knew the sugar content, like orange juice. The sugar content in orange juice is just crazy. But then I had to tell myself, I'm like, you know what? You want some orange juice, bruh. Get you some orange juice. Like, but that's how it started. You see what I'm saying? I started introducing like, you know, different sugars back in. Like I was drinking my coffee, which I still do, drink coffee with just like half and half. But then I started using like the flavored creamers, because I'm like, oh, it's only, you know, 30 calories a serving. So I probably still put like 2 servings in there, but still, you know what I'm saying? But it's stuff like that. Moderation is the key.
Yep.
Because again, like this whole sugar thing, there's still things that I won't eat all the time. Now, over these past few months, you know, we've been getting together, whatever. I've been smashing cake, Twizzlers, and these are things that I literally completely wrote out of my diet, and I can do that. Like, I don't have a problem doing that. For me, the self-sabotage part of it is I can eat the Twizzlers, but I gotta eat the whole bag. You see what I'm saying? Like, so for what I know for myself, I can't bring certain things in my house. You see what I'm saying? Like, or I can't bring too many things. Like if I want to have cake, I can't have a whole cake. Remember, I was baking cakes, I was making beignets, I was baking brownies, cookies, I was doing all this stuff. I can't do that. I have to make it so that if I want it, I literally have to go get it, and I have to make sure that it's in a decent serving size, and I have to let it go after I do that. And I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I can't be like, well, I already ate a quarter of the bag of the Twizzlers, I might as well eat them out. Or I can't say, well, I'm gonna eat them all anyway, whether it be today or tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Is self-sabotage. You just can't do that.
I've even noticed though with like, and this is where I'm gonna step for me away from dieting because that's just one part of what I've noticed lately. I've noticed that I was talking to somebody and we were I was kind of
real quick, just by the way, that's what I kind of always go back to, because when I be talking about self-sabotage, it's literally almost always about me and this whole stupid working out stuff. But go ahead.
And so what we were talking about, I was talking to somebody and we were talking about just stuff I've gone through in relationships and stuff like that. And one of the things, and just kind of why I try to stay, it's weird, like I try to stay invisible, but then I don't like that I feel invisible. So like I don't post a ton of pictures really anywhere. I've kind of somewhat trying to get into that, you know, whatever. But and so they asked me, they were like, well, do you want to be in a relationship? And I had to, you know, I said yeah. Like they weren't asking me like, oh, with them. It was just like in general. And I was like, yeah, but you know, I can't really I can't fathom that because I've been single for so long. But then I started thinking, like, after we got off the phone and had like all night to kind of think about that, and I'm like, so then why would you now I'm not saying I'm going to meet whoever on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, although you never know these days, but I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, why would I intentionally try to keep myself invisible if I really want to be seen? Now, doesn't mean I want to be seen like in a niggas hopping in my DMs on some bull, you know what I'm saying? But you still want to be seen. And so this is where I'm sabotaging myself, where I have a desire, because it's crazy, because being in a relationship is something that just keeps coming up, where people will ask me about it in random conversation, or it's just something I've been thinking about a lot more lately. Who knows why? It could be because we have so much time with the pandemic. It could be because, I don't know, it don't matter. It's just something that I think about, but it's kind of like, and I can't even say like that I wouldn't make time for people. I can't say all these excuses that I be trying to tell myself to kind of like not have to go there. And so I started thinking like, you're sabotaging yourself, because it's like, I kind of already got to be in the mode of wanting to be seen if I want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's kind of like how people used to say, if you don't go anywhere, you'll never meet anybody. So like, you know, you always have, it's like I've always had these two very different kind of friends. I've always or people that I hang out with, let's just put it that way. It's either the I don't do anything, I stay at home, I'm not doing anything ever, like, no, I don't want to do that. Or it's, let's go out to find a man. So me, okay. Right. So me, I'm in the middle, right? I'm not like, I don't really like going places. When I go places, I like to go to have fun. I don't go, I'm not on a nigga hunt. Like, I'm not, that's just not what and it's annoying as hell. Like, for people, when I'm with people who are like that, like, it's really, really annoying. Like, I don't want, if I'm having a girls' night, I'm hanging out, I'm chilling with my girls. That's it. I mean, if somebody come buy us some drinks, or if we, you know, we get approached, whatever, it is what it is. But that's not what I'm going out for. But anyway, then you, again, like I said, you had that person that just, they're wondering why they're wondering why they don't even have anybody to talk to at all.
Yeah.
Or no. They're wondering, no. They're wondering why they can't meet anybody, or no, they haven't met anybody. And it's literally because you have not made yourself available.
That part.
It could be in a physical sense, again, going out, or, you know, whatever, dating website, whatever, or it could just be mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you tell yourself, I do it sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I've been single for so long. Like, I will make up all types of stuff. Man, I be having these nice sweats. Ain't nobody trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody trying to be in the bed with me, but I'm not trying to be in the bed with somebody else while I'm having like a night hot flash. You know, it's stuff like that. Like, you know, oh, we've been single for so long, or, you know, we tell ourselves these things. And it's kind of like a shelter. It's definitely a self-sabotage. If indeed you are trying to be in a relationship with someone, if that's what your goal is. But it's also, it's like, what do they call it? Self-preservation. For me. It's like self-preservation. It's like a
defense mechanism.
Absolutely. It's like, I know that when I deal with me, I know how to deal with me. I know how to check myself to a certain extent. I
Mhm.
know the things that I like. I know what I dislike. I know that, I know I can make my food a certain way. I know that I can stay up until whenever the hell and just be complaining in the morning and be tired about it. I mean,
Mhm.
be tired and be complaining about it. I know I have all of these different routines, I guess you could say, that
Mhm.
it's not really, some of them, yeah, it will matter if they were shaken up, but some of them is just like, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like I like to get up on Saturday morning and go to the coffee shop. Who says that I may not meet a person that wants to get up and go to the coffee
Right.
shop with me? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So yes, it's like you said, a defense mechanism. But you can't do both.
Right. Woo, girl,
You can't do
listen.
both. It's either and you have, but it's one of those things that you kind of have to be ready for, in a
Mhm.
sense. It's how I kind of look at it, like in a mental sense. But also in saying that, it's like, who's to say that you're not ready?
And that's the thing too, is that, like, man, it's like tying this into vulnerability, which, I've
Absolutely.
been talking about this pretty much the whole time. That's what it started out about, how uncomfortable it is to be vulnerable, how
Absolutely.
uncomfortable well, not always, it just depends on who you're talking to. And so what I will definitely say I love about the pandemic is it's kind of shown me, with all this time I've had to reflect and think and all this stuff, is that it's not that I'm scared to be vulnerable. It's that I want to feel safe in that vulnerability. I want to, like, I mean, we all have a past, we all have whatever. I want to know that if I come to you with fears or ratchet parts of my past or just
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that you are just going to take that, and like there's safety in that. And I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like I've had a lot of people where I've shared parts of me, and then it's almost like they kind of took advantage of that, or try to prey
Mm-hmm.
on that or whatever. And so what I realize is, okay, so if I have this desire to be in a relationship, and it's just crazy with this being like November, because November '07 is when I got divorced. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember, it's so funny, and me and my mom were talking about this, just my mom telling me like, well, you're hot and cold with stuff, which I can be. But I remember when I got divorced, I was so like, okay, I'm about to find my new man. Like, that was my mindset, like,
Mm-hmm.
right back then. But then I just kind of challenged myself, like, okay, I'm not going to date for a year. I'm going to work on me, try to see like, how the hell did we get in this situation in the first place? A year turned into, obviously, here we are 13
Right.
years later. And, and
That's
mind
how it
you,
happens, though.
I mean, like, I did start school, and then, like, as soon as I graduated, the girl's dad was killed. So it's like there have been things that I've been distracted by, and they were
Absolutely.
valid, you know what I'm saying? Valid reasons. But now that all of those things are not as, I mean, like, yeah, their dad is still gone, but it's not like this fresh new thing. It's like we've just had to find a new normal, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I'm realizing is that it's it can be uncomfortable being vulnerable. It can be uncomfortable letting people in, but a lot of that I'm realizing, and this is just because of different conversations I've had lately, it's all in my mind, of like, I've kind of just been almost, I don't want to say bondage because it's not that extreme, but
Mm-hmm.
down to these lies based on either the situationships that I've gone through or whatever. So then when something new or someone new comes around, I instantly, like, you see how quickly I shut down online dating. And I'm not saying I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go back to that, because
Mm-hmm.
that was weird, and I think it's just not for me, and it's not for everybody. But I notice how quickly in my mind, it's like I already have an idea it's not going to work out because nothing
Yeah.
else has worked out. But
Yeah.
it's not going to work out if I don't think it's going to work out, because my mind is already set on it's not going to work out. And so I've just really had to just kind of step back and kind of like take each moment for what it is and try to stay out of my head, because once I
stay
get
out of your feels.
Yeah. Not be as driven by my feelings.
And I think and I get all of that, and I think for me, and we talked about this on my episode, I think for me, so I've never, I don't think I've ever had an issue with being vulnerable. So I'm like, I say all the time when I talk about myself and relationships, about how I never really tweet about it, or I never really like put how I feel about about relationship things, because I already know people are gonna feel like I'm a pick me, because I'm so like, I just never have a problem being vulnerable.
Can we go there? Can we pause real quick? Because I've been thinking about that term ever since you brought it up when we had this conversation about being single so long on the episode, on your episode or whatever. And as y'all people who've been listening, or people who just know me or whatever, or even when we have conversations offline, y'all know I always think of things the opposite of usually what it is. Because to me, why wouldn't you want somebody to pick you? Like, I don't understand why that is even a term that people try to bash.
Because I'll tell you why. Because there's certain people that will get on freaking Albie Shore's internet and say and go against. They'll get on there, and because it's, how can I explain it? Everything that they talk about is about how great of a person they are as far as relationships are concerned. So it's like every other tweet, every other post is, oh, I buy my woman, the one thing going on Twitter right now, buy your girlfriend 5 bras. And show her that you love her, stuff like that. So it's every other tweet
stuff, though. Bras that's some real shit. That is real love,
real talk,
for real.
But it's like, or like a woman will be like, oh, I don't know how you don't. Okay, Thanksgiving's coming up, so we're gonna have the debate, because it happens every year, about who fixes who plate and all this stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna fix my, I don't know how you just don't fix your man plate first, and it's stuff like that, which honestly I agree with.
I did it when I was married.
I was about to say, if I got a husband, wife, whatever it is I might have, I'm gonna fix their plate for. I am very I don't ever really want to say like, I don't want to say 1950s housewife.
I feel like I'm old fashioned compared.
I'm very old fashioned. I'm very old fashioned. I like for somebody else to take the lead on things. I want to be able to trust your decision. I don't want you to necessarily. I don't want you to always make decisions without me. But if you had to make a decision without me, I want to know and trust that you're going to make the right decision. Right. So, and again, that's not just a man thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and for your listeners who may not know, I have dated women. I have dated 2 women in long-term relationships. Okay. It's not just a man thing, and it's not just a who's dominant thing. It's not, I need to be able to trust your decisions. I need to be vulnerable in that sense.
You know
You
what's
see,
you know what's crazy, and I don't want to cut you off, but
you good.
you gonna go further, and I want to get it while we right here. So today I was watching, I told you I watched church online or whatever.
Mm-hmm,
I ain't been in a minute.
mm-hmm,
And they just so happen to talk about marriage today, which they don't always. That's not a common thing. And like my pastor and his wife talked about it. And one of the things and it's people have so many different views on submission. I'm not about to really go heavy into that.
mm-hmm,
But what he did say is that now, obviously, from their perspective, it's like, okay, if the husband is submitted to Christ and he's
mm-hmm,
doing what he's supposed to be doing,
mm-hmm,
treating his wife right, and all these things, like real talk, if I have a man that I feel loved and protected by, and I know you have my best interest at heart, and I know that I can trust you with the well-being of my children because you've shown me that, I would have no problem submitting to that, because the reality is I lead right now as a single parent because I
absolutely,
have to, but that's
absolutely.
not my desire. The problem lies in where, so I'll go back to my marriage. It wasn't this love and protection thing. So it's
Mm-hmm,
like, then I felt like I needed to, this is where we would bump heads, because it's like, then I would feel like I needed to try to lead because I couldn't trust where you were leading me, where you were leading our daughters. But I find me a man that, and it's not even so much leading, because one of the things he said is that it's supposed to be we submit to each other. So it's like he looks for his wife's input. He, at whatever story they told about him not listening to her and everything went to hell, and now he'd be like, okay, well, what do you think? You know what I mean? And then
mm-hmm.
her trusting him to, I don't want to say like make the decision like he's the authority, but he is the head of the household, and everybody, hey, you ain't got to agree with that. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, how do we put it on his taxes? Yeah, if we're talking about marriage,
Yep. Yep.
and we're talking about legal documentation,
Mhm.
when you guys file your taxes,
Mhm.
does he file head of household? Now I know
Yep.
that there's like a marriage,
Mhm.
filing single is
Separate.
married and all that. Yeah. But I mean, it just kind of is what it is. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Yeah. And so, and it's crazy. I've noticed it even with podcasting. Like, I'm just noticing all these areas where it's funny that I'm even about to say this. So, we have this group chat where we talk every day.
mhm.
And the day that I was hella busy because I was working on that report that I had to work on, so I didn't live tweet nobody's episodes that I listened to on Twitter. That's the only time I don't live tweet, is when I'm busy, for the most part. Or I didn't get in the group chat at all. Part of it was I overslept, and both you and Jay reached out to me like, hey, like,
Hey,
is you
doggy, what it do?
right? Is you good? And then when I finally read through y'all 100 and something messages and saw that you was like, where is Tamara till the break of dawn or whatever?
Tamara to the Break of Dawn podcast ass.
Yeah, something. But so it's like, people can show me, this is what I'm noticing, and I think it's because a lot of my world, and I've talked about this on here, where I've like pulled away from relationships that I felt weren't mutually beneficial and stuff like
Mhm,
that, where
mhm,
I felt like I was pouring more into the relationship, or we just don't really have anything to talk about outside of problems. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
I'm realizing with like the bonds that we built, some of them were based around like trauma, and so that was our relatability. But when it comes to other things, we ain't got nothing to talk about. And so a lot of times it feels like the people that I talk to every day, a year ago, I didn't even know y'all. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? That's weird to me for someone who's always stayed loyal to the same people. And so I'll find myself like, they don't really, not like they don't really care, but in a sense, like they don't really rock with you like that. Or, and
Mhm,
it's crazy
mhm,
because you know how Penrose be doing them morning serendipitous.
Yes, with that damn robe on.
He do be, or the do-rag, but when he does his videos, he did one where he talked about how basically, I don't think it was necessarily centered around self-sabotage, but he was talking about how like the people who say you're dope, they really mean that. Like people are not telling you you're dope, or
That's real.
or like when I wasn't a part of that game night that y'all did because I couldn't be, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all wanted me to be a part of it. It's not like y'all faking like, oh, let me fake like, because what the
Right,
hell
right,
do
right,
y'all
right.
I ain't the rich one in the crew, so y'all,
Girl, me either.
y'all ain't benefiting, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, a lot of times now, I don't act on it, obviously, because you see I be active. So this is where
Right.
I am not self-sabotaging. So I'm kind of proud, but it's a battle to be intentional and like press through the stuff that I hear because well, yeah, in my mind, not like, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is some, or like with podcasting, man. And I
I deal
think,
with that too, though, Tamara.
yeah.
Because I know that over the years, it's funny because I just told a friend of mine that I met 5 years ago. It's been 5 years, and we're really good friends, and we talk, chat every single day, and we met off of in a group that was like a mutual interest group,
Okay.
and ended up she ended up being one of the people that I actually like out of like 50 something people that were in that group. She ended up being like one of the ones that I'm still in contact with. And I text her just yesterday, Tamara, and I was like, do you know we've been friends for 5 years? And it's not, and it's, we don't even talk about the reason why we were in that group. We don't even talk about that. You see what I'm saying? Like we like, unless something, you know, something happens or somebody we used to know or something like that comes up, you're like, girl, such and such happened. We don't. We do not. We talk about, we are friends. Like she's, and I'm grateful. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm grateful for, and I can't, but to your point, like I've been in the exact same shoes. It's like, especially as we get older, you know what I'm saying? Like and as we get older and as we find different circles of associates, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And you know that it's not always going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not always, just like even with our group chat. Like we know that one day this group chat just may fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, that's nothing that we want because we really do enjoy each other. But life happens, things happen, and it's hard. It's hard to even think about, right? Because you never want to build a friendship on, you want to build a friendship if it's surrounding one thing, like us podcasting. We met through podcasting, and that's kind of how our friendship was built. But the fact that we're able to talk about everything but podcasting is what's lit about it. You know what I'm saying? And again, even if the group chat fizzles out, I don't really see myself not you know, being in contact, you know, at least every other day or a few times a week with all four of y'all, as you know what I'm saying, one way or another, depending on what's going on in everybody's life. And just back to my friend, like, you know, I have other friends that are in that group that I thought I would have this this everyday talk to bond, and I don't, and it bothers me, right? It bothers me, and I feel like I'm the one that was always like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm the one that was trying to keep it going. But then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't continue to do that.
Right.
Love my friends, love
Yeah.
the people that but I can't continue to be the one that's always trying to initiate other conversation outside of the reason why we met.
That part.
And where with this particular friend, I don't have to do that. When I say, look, she's a Steelers fan. Steelers just beat the Cowboys. We're gonna have to talk about this. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that I know, we relate. I know that we're gonna pick up and have it could be 2 days, but that third day we're having an all day conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's never just about one thing. And that's what I love about her, because go ahead.
That's where the problem lied with all my not all of them, but people that I don't talk to as much as anymore, is that it was centered around one thing. So then it's like, when that one thing isn't pressing and it isn't as relevant, then it's like we don't have anything else and I cannot with forced interactions. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? I love random conversation where we can just flow and talk about whatever or talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? We could be I was talking to somebody recently about how we used to have pagers or the evolvement of cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Just like, because I'm not just feelings and whatever, and I feel like I need
not just one dimensional either.
Yeah.
It's just like there's definitely, it's just like my saying. So like my sayings, I've it's almost been 10 years.
Wow.
And her and I, we met through a sorority that we're a part of, Gamma Phi Delta sorority, business and professional sorority. We met there, and then and that was in 2000. What's this? What is this? 2020. 2020. So when was this? This was 2008. So it's been way longer than that. 12 years. So 2008 we met, and then 2011 we both during the same period of time became members of Sigma Gamma Rho. But this has never, like, yes, there were times where all we talked about was sorority stuff. Okay, that's it. And when it came to both of us pledging Sigma Gamma Rho around the same time, I mean, like, for a good 6-7 months, literally, like, that's the majority of what we talked about, because that's the journey that we were on. But aside from that, like, we've never had a one-dimensional type of relationship. We for 12 years I've been rocking with my Sans, and my Sans has been rocking with me on no matter what it is. I don't have to worry about her judging me. I don't have to worry about her chastising me about anything that I may have done. She's always lifting me up. Now she will read me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't gonna be like, oh nah, bro, you ain't gonna be able to be doing that. Like, we're not doing that. Yeah. And we have that type of relationship where we can be raw with one another, and nobody is taking it any type of way other than, damn, you might be right. You know what I'm saying? So it's those type of relationships that I'm able to keep going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not forced. It's nowhere near forced. It's nowhere near. I could pick up the phone right now and call her, and we'll be on the phone for 2 hours, literally talking about nothing. That's just, I texted her the other day because she was here. Y'all know she was here about a month ago, and we were watching TV, and like all of the political ads were on the TV. So I don't know if you guys know, and if anybody is listening that's in Georgia, please, in January, please get your ass out and go vote for John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock. But we laughed about them because of the ads that kept coming on TV. And she, when I texted her, I'm like, dog, your boys, they got to run off in January. She was like, what? So like, all of the times that they interrupt my YouTube video with these damn commercials, it's stuff like that. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with her because she ain't in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? But it's just things that we could just randomly talk about, and the conversation will just go on and on and on. I can't do the force shit. It's so, and it breaks my heart because it's people that you really rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really, you know, it's almost like your best friends from like when you were growing up. So like one of my best friends, like I still call her my best friend, but I won't even like go out with her. Like when I go home, I will not, because we might get in a fight. Not with each other, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that. It's like we had that thing in common back in the day, but we just don't have that thing in common anymore. And now everything is forced. So I just decide to not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of messed up, but it's just, I just be like, I don't think I'm about to go chill with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we should have did this a little earlier, y'all, but we're gonna take a quick break. This is an awkward place to take a break, but whatever. Cool. We're gonna take a quick break, and then I'm sure we could probably go forever with all of this, so we're gonna definitely get back to it after this break. And we are back. So I want to go a little bit further into this whole thing, and I didn't even know we was going to be here, but we going to go everywhere we need to go with this, because this go like self-sabotaging, what I know, it goes into so many different areas, but with relationships, because the part that you really said that is something that I still wrestle with when I think about the people that I no longer talk to, because our either friendship was focused on one thing, or I mean, like podcasting and blogging and all these things are very important to me. So what I love about all the people that I talk to every day is they either inspire me to do better in my craft, which is important to me. They support what I'm doing. They give me feedback or challenge me or whatever. But then I think about this whole world of people that like I barely talk to. Like my Facebook, I still have it because it's family and friends and whatever. But it's like, I don't really talk to y'all people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's hard,
girl,
because these are people that know like some of my deepest, darkest fears, secrets, whatever. Hopefully they don't be out here telling my business. You know, that's why I tell my business. Okay, nobody else.
Right.
But
same.
Like, it's hard because these are people that, and even with building new relationships, you don't want to build a friendship with the end in mind, even though that may happen. But because I've seen it happen so much, I don't give, like I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, I am way more random than people realize. Like that video I posted with the crazy Snapchat filter for my
doing the most.
But that is what I do. Like that's always been me and a friend of mine. I've known her for like 10 years, and we just recently started talking more and being more intentional about like, hey, let's stay connected. And she was saying how she's like, it's so dope that I've watched you for 10 years do things like silly videos on Snapchat, or do things like blog, or do things like try to have videos where, or posts or whatever, where you're trying to inspire people. And she was just saying, and she listens to the show, and so she was saying how she loves seeing me have a platform to actually do, but it took 10 years though to get here to where I'm consistent. So it's kind of like, that's why I did that promo video the way I did it, because I was telling somebody like, I'm way more goofy and random than y'all realize. I've only given y'all the serious side of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't the coffee liqueur that be having me,
I know,
lit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
but I know because we talk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. So So it's hard though, because it's like in the back of my mind is always, all right, so when these niggas gonna leave? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, stop there, because that's what I was gonna say. A part of my self-sabotage, I don't even know. I don't know. Say it however you want. Is my abandonment issues. I have very bad abandonment issues, which is one reason why it's hella hard for me to really get super duper close to someone. It's easier. It's a little easier for me to still make friends because I'm a social butterfly. That's just what I do. I am that person. I can go somewhere by myself and leave with 10 people. Like, hey,
I don't be doing all that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, in a sense, like, y'all going over to such and such. Yeah, you want to go? Yeah, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go. I go to the majority of my sorority events alone. I know that there's going to be, like, not sorority events, but just like Greek events. I know that there's going to be somebody else from my sorority there. 9 times out of 10, there's going to be somebody else there. But it's not like I call somebody or be like, hey, I'm going to go by myself. I'm a social butterfly. I'm going to kick it with you, and you. But that's about as far as it's going to go. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's about as far as it's going. Okay, I'll see y'all next time. Like, I don't, even I might exchange numbers, or, if we might be in the same chapter, we might all know each other. But like, to really like be close to me and be like my sans, like to be my sans. Can't nobody ever be my sans. But like to be that level of friendship, it takes a little bit to peel back. So, and it's because I'm not trying to peel these layers back. And when I say layers, I'm not talking about, I'm not even necessarily talking about like my business, because again, I got a whole ass podcast. I done been on everybody else show. I get on everybody's show and tell my whole business. Like I don't really have any secrets, I guess I can say. I don't have like, I don't have like whatever the hell, however the hell you want to say it. But to give myself to someone, like my all, and even in a friendship, you know what I'm saying? For me to,
like, your fears, like the stuff we're talking about today.
For me to say, if we out or whatever, and some shit pop off, like we're definitely gonna jump this person, like, you know what I'm saying? For me to say that I will fight for you, or that, and when I tell my friends all the time, like I will tell you, like, I'm team Tamara. I want Tamara to be happy, whatever it is that, I don't care what nobody else got to say. Now, if you wrong, I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong, but I am team. Well, I'm 100% team Tamara. If I tell you that, I really, really mean that shit. So to think that one day, for whatever reason, that I'm no longer a part of Team Tamara, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so, and especially if it's like, again, because all we had really for real had in common was podcasting. You see what I'm saying? Like that, it's like, we spent all this time together. We spent all these hours chatting. No, we have not met in person, but none of that matters. We didn't got drunk together. We didn't talked about so many different things together. We have cried. We have done all of this over the course of not even a year. And to think that one day it may not be, that's scary as fuck to me. And so it goes into the whole thing with relationships. That right there is the main reason. That's the sabotage that I put in my head. It's like, I'm not about to sit up here and be knocked off my square and give this person all of me for one day, for me to wake up and they're not into me anymore, or they've gone on, they've gone to do whatever with whoever, or they passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that. It's like, I am that is what makes me like that's where the wall is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the wall is. Even I told y'all the other yesterday, like I got back on a dating site. I literally out of boredom or whatever. I'm not literally can't take anybody seriously because it's just like I could just look at them and feel like I can tell that they about to be on some fuck shit, and I just don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not necessarily the truth. You know what I'm saying? Even just like how people say about Tinder, like I don't think I've ever had a Tinder account, but people always say that, you know, people on Tinder are always just looking for sex. I don't necessarily
Not
believe that all
all.
the time.
There are people
Right.
who met like solid, they're married. I saw it on Twitter earlier today. We're saying,
Yeah. I mean, like, I put that wall up. I do. I cannot even sit up here and say that I don't. I am a one strike person because anytime that I've ever let anybody go past that one strike became too many strikes. And guess what? I'm single. You understand what I'm saying? Like I let my guard down because there have been people that have told me so many times, like, dog, you really be hard on folks. Like, you really need to, like, don't just, think about it before you make the decisions and do that. No, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? That's just not me. I'm a fiery Aries. I'm going, as soon as some shit ain't right or I feel like it's not right, I'm done with it. And that does not necessarily mean that that's okay to do. It's just that's just how I roll because I'm not trying to give somebody a pass for me to have to give them another pass and give them another pass, and then I end up single any damn way. So I done let you take me through all of this for us to not even have worked out. And that's not to say that, I mean, like some relationships, I know that all relationships are not meant to last forever. I understand that. And I understand that there's a trial and error. I understand all of that. All I'm saying is I don't feel like that. I don't feel like going through all that.
I remember with my marriage and part of it was his mental health struggle. So, I always think about that, but still, I just remember I was like trying to fight for our marriage because I never wanted to be divorced. So I remember saying, let's go to counseling. He didn't want to do that. I remember when it was good, it was great. But when it was bad, it was bad. And so it's kind of like, it would be this when he'd be going his cycle. It was either I love you so much, I want to be with you forever. But then it was also toxic because it was like, I just want you to go to work and come home and we're together. And it's like, okay, no life outside of that. Or it's, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to be with you. You're the reason why this, that, and the other. So it was just this up and down thing. And so now that I've been, and this is where being single for so long and also the self-sabotaging is like, I'm not going to say, I don't know what I would be like in a relationship if I would really be one strike, but I already be in my mind, like I said, this ain't going to work. And I don't want to, like, I love hard when I love. So I don't want to give now, let me back up though. What I will say is I know that when I was married and also when I was with my son's dad, because those are the only two relationships that I actually had, I know now that I was not really ever emotionally available because I didn't know how to do that. Like, it wasn't until recently I realized, like, oh, you really haven't been emotionally available to anyone. And so now I'm trying to like be more present. Yeah, but so now where I'm at as 40-year-old me, we ain't talking about 20-something-year-old me. I love hard. I want to put my all in something, but then there's a part of me that's like, kind of like what you were saying. But then what if I just remember trying to fight for my marriage. And then when you wanted to fight was when I was not on that no more. After all that time of me back and forth and this and that and us going through all this stuff, then when I finally was like, okay, and then I got away, and then it's like, okay, I'm not going back to that because you probably gonna change your mind later. Now you want to fight hard. And it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say I would fall apart if I had a breakup, because no, I'm not gonna say that, but it's like I don't feel like going through that.
I'm
You know
just
what
not in
I'm saying?
the mood. I'm
Yeah,
not in
I don't want to be
the mood.
attached to somebody. I mean, even my friend that I was telling y'all about, that we would like talk, we pretty much, that was my go-to person for a lot of stuff. And then when he got a girlfriend, we don't really talk as much anymore. And even just having a friend that was there, especially with all the stuff that I've gone through with my daughter, like I would talk to him deeply about like my fears that I had, even with Kayliana graduating and like their dad not being here and all this stuff. And just recently I was thinking like, dang, we really, and it's not like we beefing, it's just
Right.
one, it became where I felt like I was forcing the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like everything felt forced. I can't do that. And then two, trying to respect, okay, this man has a girlfriend, and yes, I've known him forever and whoop-de-woo, but I don't want her feeling like, you know what I'm saying, just trying to give him that space to do what he needs to do. But even that has been kind of like, I've kind of been sad about that, if I'm honest, because it's like I get attached to people and I get used to things, and I'm not possessive in a psychotic way, but possessive over like, this is my friend, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, these are my people. Like this, that's why I be like, no new friends with the podcast happy hour. I'm not saying y'all can't interact with other, obviously it ain't like that, because I interact with other podcasters. But I'm saying though, is what we got is
This
what
is
we
our
got.
thing.
Yeah, and this is our thing, and you could have something else with somebody else, but it ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And so when I think about all that, and I think about investing in something, I don't know. And so then I don't make an effort. But then it's like, I have this desire, but then I don't make an effort. And this is where the self-sabotaging comes in.
And two, we talk about, and I think you kind of said something on the lines of this earlier, but it might have been kind of about something different. But we and I might have talked about this on our show, the show that we had before too. We talk about the law of attraction, right? We talk about how we're able to manifest things through our words, through our thoughts, through all of that. I have abandonment issues. Okay. I know that. I may think that somebody is going to abandon me all the time. Right. But I don't think the law of attraction really because I can't control, no matter how I think, how positive I think about a person. This person could be the best person in the USA for me, as far as a relationship or a friendship or anything like that is concerned. But when they're ready to leave, or when they are unhappy and they don't want to say anything about it, or when things have just died out, there's nothing that I can do about that. So then what happens? Here I am feeling abandoned again. You see what I'm saying? It's like, unfortunately, those are the things. I don't think that that is a part of like the whole self-sabotage thing, because again, we can't control what other people are going to do. And like those, I just do not feel like those are things that we speak into existence. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I can speak into existence somebody abandoning me.
But let me ask you this, because this is what I know for me. Does that fear of abandonment, because I have that as well, does that make you hold back from being your full self because you feel like you have this fear anyway? So no, you can't control whether or not, but do you really fully give yourself? Now I know it's kind of hard because we've been single forever, but even
Dog, I don't even be giving nobody a chance. I'm gonna just keep it 100.
so
Like I don't be it's like unless okay. For instance, I don't know. I think I told y'all a few months back, right before the pandemic, met a guy on a dating app.
okay.
Couple of dates. Pandemic hit. Nice guy, very nice guy. Like, I mean, he was like sweet and had his stuff together, and like we liked each other. We never had sex, anything like that, but we did. I've been to his home. We went to it again, like I said, a couple of dates, whatever. Things were looking great. I decided to give him a chance. This is one guy that I said, I think this might work. This might work. The pandemic hit. He got a notice or whatever from his job saying that they were gonna lay people off, and he started becoming very distant. Like we had made all these other different plans, and of course it wasn't nothing that we could actually like go out and do, but we were like cooking for each other. We were going to the gun range, doing all these types of things. And he started to become very distant, and I knew right then and there what it was, because he's the type of guy that is that dominant force who wants to make sure that he can carry the load of whatever it might be. Great guy, right? After a couple of conversations, after a couple of days, he came out and told me and said, I cannot lie. He said, I really, really like you, but I cannot see myself in a relationship when I don't have a job.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I cannot. And I understand, like when I say I got it, I 100% understood where he was coming from. Here we are again, though, on my end, where I was actually ready. You see what I'm saying? Like I was actually, I said, you know what? I had just told my friend, I was like, I really like this guy. Like, I think I want to, continue to date him. Like we have a good time together. We have so much in common. Like, likes to say he was a DJ kind of on the side, like all the things that we like to do. I mean, it was just, so he was Jamaican. He would go to Jamaica all the time. I like Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go to Jamaica with your beach family, whatever. Had made all these plans, and then this happens. You see what I'm saying? But then when he come back around, it was like, oh, I want to cuddle. Nigga, what are you talking about? You just said you weren't trying to be. You see what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. It's just like you get your hopes up, and you decide to give somebody a chance, and something happens. Which again, this was not on him. Like I can't even say that this was necessarily his fault, but I also don't know what would have happened had we kept going on. Because like I said, when he came back, it was more like, hey, I'm trying to cuddle, but that's all you trying to do? Yeah. Like, nigga, I got a damn bunch of teddy bears and a cat, nigga, that I could cuddle with. You know what I'm saying? So it's that. So I get in these. So to answer your question is like, I don't even give, I hardly ever really give somebody a chance, because it seems like when I do, these things happen. So I have to really be like, I have to, it's almost like I have to be in a certain space. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if because of like the pandemic had just started, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm here in this big ass city by myself. Like I hardly have like, a consistent contact with my family back home. All of that stuff. And I was just I was very vulnerable because I'm scared. I'm like, damn, like really? all of the things that I do by myself. I go out, I go eat, I go do this, that, and the other, and the third, go to the gym, and I can't do any of this stuff. And then I meet a guy who I feel like I'm gonna be able to spend this time with, and not have to worry about not being able to do things alone because I have somebody to do them with. And I open myself up to the idea of it. And then here we are.
Yeah.
Still single.
Yeah.
So when I'm in it, I'm in it. I don't hold back anything. If I decide to, if I get with someone and we have a conversation and they, I we've talked about our flaws, we've talked about the things that we like and we don't like, and we decide that we're going to move forward and try to, make something work of this, or at least continue to date, or, even if it's not exclusively, but we're just, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to go through the motions to see if this is something that we like. I'm going to give you all of me. I'm not going to hold anything back because that doesn't serve me at all. You understand what I'm saying? Like that doesn't serve. I'm not going to, there's not going to be any, so you can ask me anything. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to keep it 100 with you all the time. If I see something in the store and I feel like it'll look good on you, I'm going to buy it for you. Shit like that. I'm not going to hold anything back. I feel like cooking. Hey, what you want to eat? Let's cook. You know what I'm saying? Like anything. I'm never going to hold myself back, but it's getting to that point. It's getting to that point of interest and that point of, okay, I think maybe we might be able to do something here. That's where I fall short because I feel like sometimes I just can't take people seriously. You understand what I'm saying? Or again, it could be one little thing. It could be a hair out of place. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just as an example, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be one little thing and I'd be like, dog, this is not going to work. or nah, this, I'm not feeling the energy. Like, I'm an energy person. If I'm not feeling that energy, and most of the time I'm right. Sometimes, I've been wrong about energy and, energy and people and stuff, but I just, it's getting to that point.
And think it's something that it's not.
Like, yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't hold back anything. When I'm at that point and I feel like this is what it is, and that's with romantic relationships, friendships, whatever, like I'm going to give my all. I'm going to put everything into this. It's getting to that point is where I fall short.
So what's a way, we're going to segue because I know that I could go on and on and on.
We'll be here tomorrow.
Right. Like I knew this was going to be, I just prepared myself like, okay, I'm really about to be on here and there's still way more to it. And that's why I'm like, okay, we're not about to have no 5-hour episode.
Yeah, I think people get the point.
Yeah. So what's one thing just in the next 7 days? Because I'm all about challenges, because there's no point in us talking about this is really so we can grow through this. You know what I'm saying? This is something we both, I found out, struggle with based on listening to your episode. It's something I'm struggling with even more now than I was back then. So the timing of this when it came about. So what is something in the next 7 days? And we talked about like 50,000 different areas of life. So in one area, what is one thing you're going to do to try to just be intentional about growing through this and not remaining stagnant in this area?
In the area of
whatever you feel like it. Because it's all about what you want to do. Like, what do you feel like is most pressing? You know what I'm saying? Right now.
I mean, I always go back to this being fat. So I've been peeping you, and I'm like, I said, Okay, Tamara says she got a little accountability partner. Okay, she been posting on Instagram. I see. So I've been peeping the workouts and stuff you've been doing. I got some dumbbells. You know what I'm saying? I said I'm not gonna talk myself out of working out this week.
Okay.
I'm going to. I did say, and you know what? Audrey is the worst. First of all, I told her, I'm like, why don't we? Because there's just never enough time in the day, and I'm like, why don't we get up an hour early?
On her live,
Right. I said, why don't we get up an hour early and just for a week? Let's do it just for a week. And even if I'm gonna do this, let me just go ahead and say it. Even if I just get out of bed and do my normal like wash up and whatever, even if I just make a cup of coffee or meditate or something, even if I just sit there, honestly, just get out the bed. You see what I'm saying? Because my thing is, my work day starts at 9 a.m. y'all. I personally don't really start working till like 10:30. Because even though I have gotten up out the bed at 8:57 and I went and I turned my computer on and I went, did my wash up, prepare, get my coffee, my water, whatever it is I'm gonna do that morning, I still have to just sit. And my mom, and I used to wonder why my mom used to get up so early. She still does to this day, but she would get up so early to just sit and drink tea. And I never understood it. I'm like, bro, you're missing out on sleep. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I get it now. I get it. And I've always wanted to be that early morning person anyway, which I know that I probably will never really truly be. But I'm going to get up by, I said 8, but I think I'm gonna say 7:30 and just try to get my day started.
So I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit less than, because what
that's the main thing I want to do. Even aside from like the whole working out and stuff, that's the main thing I want to do.
And so my accountability person, the reason why I do 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, because I've never done workouts like that ever. I asked them, like, I'm gonna do it, you know what I'm saying, but why? Because I was trying to understand the rationale, like, why would you tell me only do 15 minutes? And what they told me is that because when you do things in increments, it shifts your mindset. So then the days that I kind of oversleep, but I know I could get in a 15-minute workout, this is how I've stayed on task, because it's like, it's only 15 minutes. So if this is something that you're wanting to do long term, because one thing that y'all was like, let's do it for a week and then go back to no, I
didn't say go back to. I said well, this is what I said. I said try it for a week and see how you feel. I know,
you're right.
I know, because I've done things like, I know that it takes at the very least, I've said this on my podcast, 21 days to form a habit.
Yep.
Unless it's crack. So
really,
and we gonna leave that alone. We don't need that habit.
We're gonna go away from that. Yep.
So I know that if this is something that I want to do long term, it's the same with working out. It's the same with the whole couch to 5K thing. It's the same. It's just when you fall off, because you will fall off, you have to not self-sabotage and say, this is the episode that you was listening to. You can't say, all right, well, I'm done with that. Or,
Yep. Yep.
well, I tried and it didn't work. Or,
Mhm.
I might as well just not, maybe I'll do it next month. Or, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? You can't do that.
Yeah.
This is why
Yeah.
my legs are ready to fall off today, because I stopped running a month ago and
Mm.
decided to go and run a 5K
Gotcha.
yesterday because I paid for it.
Mhm.
So, and I wanted my t-shirt and my medal.
Mhm.
So you can't, I can't do that. And I know this, I know better.
So
You know
what
what I'm
if you
saying?
start by waking up a half an hour early just to have that's what I was gonna say is just
Hmm.
that way building your because at some point this person's gonna add 5 minutes and we ain't there yet, obviously.
Yeah. So that you
But
can just do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because he
I
was
see the concept.
yeah, because
Hmm.
he was like increments changes your mindset, which I can see that it has to where it's like, oh, I could do this 15 minutes. And then it's like, oh, let me switch it up and see if there's other because you see the dude that I'm doing
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
bully juice his. So he has so many like 5 and 10
Yeah.
and all these workouts. And even my Kayliana has started doing them because I'm like,
Oh,
it's
good.
yeah, because she's been saying she wants to work out just to like remain active. Obviously, if you've seen my kids, they ain't got no weight problem at all.
Right. Right. They are beautiful.
Right, at all. But being active because she's like, she just notices a shift since the pandemic, because we know her
Yeah.
senior year ended hella dumb.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, so I can
yeah.
okay, so my rationale behind 7:30. So my work day starts at 9. My rationale behind 7:30 is I know when the alarm go off at 7:30
You ain't gonna get up. Okay, gotcha.
till about 8. Or you
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Like, but what I've noticed that has been helpful, I didn't have a television in my room for years. Like, because I
Mhm.
don't really watch TV in the bed until literally like recently.
Mhm.
I put the TV in my room. So if I get up, if the alarm goes off and I turn the TV on, I'm kind of up. You know,
Okay.
I mean, like
Gotcha.
it helps me to wake up. Like I
Gotcha.
hardly ever fall back to sleep for a long time. Like it may be a
Mhm.
5 minute, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But
Yeah.
I'll hear the TV in the background and I'll
Gotcha.
wake up.
Gotcha.
So that's a part of like the plan. Just
Okay.
okay, when the alarm go off, all right, boom, turn the
Mhm.
TV on, getting, at least try to get engaged with that. And then I got to talk to PJ and, we got to have our whole conversation. She in the
Mhm.
way. And I'm like, all right, let me just try to get up. So it's kind of, it's like that. And I
Mhm.
know that I like working out. I used to really like working out in the morning because then
Mhm.
I don't have to
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it throughout the day. Like it just
Yeah.
drives me crazy thinking
Yeah.
about it, especially when I used to go to the gym. It's just like, oh my God, I got to get in the car, I got to go drive, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But being able to get up and do it in the morning and get it out the way, and you ain't got to think about it, man. You talking about having the best days ever.
Yep.
And as hype as I am talking about it right now, you would think that that's what I would be on. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
again, it's more of me making sure that I am getting enough rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bed at a decent hour. And
Mhm.
when that alarm goes off, I have the discipline because that's what I lack. I
Mm.
will keep it 100. It's the discipline of just getting up and getting my day started again.
Mm.
And getting my day started means I just got to get up and I just got to sit there for a minute.
Mhm.
That's how my day starts.
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed definitely with the getting back to working out in the morning, even though my challenge to myself really has nothing to do with working out, but my whole mood be so much better. Like I
Mm-hmm.
do my
Same.
cardio in the morning and I just feel more energized, more focused. Man, one day, I mean, and I do it before I drink coffee usually. So it's
Same.
like, I wonder if I'd be able, I'm not going to, but I wonder if I'd be able to quit coffee because I just already feel amped up way before I even get to the coffee because I just kind of roll out of bed and just get to it
I
before
do
my
this.
brain
Yep.
can fully understand what's going on.
And I don't want anything on my stomach. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier for me to, especially when I run, it's easier. It's just, I literally get up, brush my teeth, throw something on, and go out the door. Like when I was doing it regularly, it wasn't even a thought, Tamara. It was not even, and that's where I'm trying to get back to, where I'm not even thinking about it.
Right. For me, my challenge though, because I don't know. And my pastor's wife talked about something in the sermon that just really hit where I'm at right now. So I don't know what is going on with all the stuff that's like coming up, but I've noticed that in the midst of all this stuff bubbling up in my heart and all this stuff, there's been opportunities to be vulnerable. Like when people ask me specific questions about something, in that moment, I have an opportunity to either be honest about whatever the answer is, or I notice I deflect with humor a lot. I will make everything a joke. I will whatever, because I would rather laugh. That's why I love to laugh. I love to laugh because I'm not trying to deal with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I've noticed as I look back at my life, I am the funniest when all hell is breaking loose in my life, because I will make a joke out of everything. That is when I am the pettiest. I'm petty regardless, but I'm the pettiest when it's like all kinds of stuff going on. And so I'm realizing that I'm being presented opportunities to be vulnerable. And so have I been 100% successful at it? Hell no. But my challenge to myself is to be more successful of choosing to answer honestly, choosing to rest in whatever I'm feeling, because it's related to all kinds of stuff. So it's not just like,
it's all different things.
But choosing to rest in that, be okay in that. And the people that I talk to right now, because I don't talk to a ton of people, they're safe people. So it's not somebody that's, I don't know, out to get me or whatever. So it's like being thankful that they care enough to ask questions. Because a lot of times you say stuff and people just breeze on by it because they don't really, I'm not going to say they don't care, but they don't dig. So being grateful for these, no, I ain't gonna say nosy people, but being grateful for the people that ultimately they're part of my journey and my freedom, because then when something bubbles to the surface based on whatever we're talking about, I gotta be like, okay, I can't just let it be like that. And so like that picture that I posted today, my little workout picture, whatever, if you notice, I have not posted a what is it called? A progress pic in months.
Okay.
And and there's many different reasons for why I didn't. A lot of it had to do with that whole wanting to be invisible thing. And a lot of that is because what I get be foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like my situationships have been like, I had genuine feelings for somebody and they just wanted what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And so me wanting to be invisible has been like, okay, well, you just gonna see podcast stuff and that you ain't gonna see nothing else. Like, don't worry about what I look like or whatever. So that's why the caption was what it was. It really had nothing to do with working out. It had everything to do with, in this moment, I am choosing to not be, what am I trying to say? Not be bound. That's why I use that terminology, or chained to my past, my pain, the foolishness, the bull that they were on, and all that stuff. In this moment, I'm choosing to post this picture. You know what I'm saying?
To be vulnerable to the internet, basically.
Because it's small. People post all kinds of stuff all the time. But for me, that took a lot because I almost didn't do it. But then when I did it, I felt so free. So when I have those moments, you know what I'm saying? Choosing to walk in freedom instead of choosing to so And it's
Yeah.
obviously got to go beyond 7 days, but I'm going to try to be more intentional because, I'm trying to grow out here. So,
I feel it,
you know
girl.
what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
got. I mean, and
Yeah.
and honestly, I think in just kind of following your journey, and when I say your journey, map, basically your life journey, listening to your podcast, and just being a friend, and I think you are growing. Like, I really think that I really do think that at least you've been vulnerable with us to an extent, and I do notice that you will try to laugh some shit off. See, I'm the person that will. I'm kind of the digger, right? I'm the person
Yeah,
that'll be
you
like,
are.
okay, but I also know that there are some people who don't want that, which is why you get those type of people that you'll say something and they just kind of pass right by it, because they may be, even though they might want to know, but they might be like, oh, she might not want to really go into it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, I stopped myself from being that person for a long time, but that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you present an issue or something that you want to talk about, or something serious, or something, like, I'm going to say, okay, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let it to just pass. Like, hey, bro, okay, stop there. What we talking about again? Like, what's going on? Like, and if it seems like you don't want to talk about it, then I let it go. Or if I give a suggestion or anything, and it just it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I would just won't say anything about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you bring it up, I just won't say anything. But yeah, I am that person, and you are that person that will try to just completely just laugh some shit off when you really want to cry. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to scream. It's okay to holler. It's okay to hide. It's okay to do all of those things. It's okay to laugh it off. I mean, if that's what you feel like you need to do at that particular moment in time, it's okay to do that. But just know that whatever your reaction is to these issues, they're not just going to go away. It's not going to just go away with laughter. It'll be funny. We'll get a good laugh out of it. Ha ha ha. Have a drink and keep it moving. But it's still going to be there. So to be able to have people around you who are willing to, in a non I can't necessarily say non-biased, because again, I'm Team Tamara. You know what I'm saying? But in a non-judgmental or non, like, you know what I'm saying, way, it's best, I think, for people to take upon those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? It's best to say, okay, to make that choice, like you're saying, to make that choice, to be a little bit, it's, to be vulnerable and say, okay, I'm about to cry, but this is what it's about to be. This is what's going on. Your friends, the people that really fuck with you, we just gonna all be in there crying together. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, and I know it's still hard to do. I know we're talking about it, and we can sit and talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it's still really hard to do. But you taking these next 7 days to be intentional about something so precious and something so intimate, in a sense, is growth. That's growth. Saying, you know what, I know I can do this, so I'm definitely going to put one foot forward, one foot in front of the other. I'm going to take this one task at a time. I'm going to take this one day at a time, and I'm going to be grateful that I have people that I can talk to about whatever these things are, should they come up in these 7 days. And I'm going to do that. That is growth. Even if on day 3 something come up and you don't talk about it, it's okay. You still got you got day 4, right? days last 24 hours. Your worst day, I say it all the time, your worst day, the worst day of your life will only last 24 hours. Should God give you the grace to wake up that next morning, you need to take advantage of the things that are there for you to take advantage of.
Yeah. Ooh, all right. All right, so
you knew I was gonna get on here and tell. You already knew what it
I
was gonna
know.
be when you invited me.
I braced myself for all of this because I already knew.
And I'm talking to myself too.
I know.
I'm never just
I
talking
know.
to the person. I'm talking to myself too.
I know. I appreciate it though. And I do, yeah, I have been. I'm going to take these next 7 days to just try to.
Now 7 is it starting today or tomorrow? So it's
Oh,
Monday to Saturday, Monday to Sunday.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we can start tomorrow just to have the rest of today to be on my bull.
Right.
No,
I feel it because I got a cinnamon roll downstairs that's gonna go bad in a minute, so I'm gonna have to eat that.
Okay. All right. So before we get up out of here, and it's so funny because I have your stuff in my episode notes every week anyway because of podcast happy hour. Yeah, but still, for the people who don't read it, go ahead and tell them a little bit about your show because I don't have a description and you know where they could find you and all that good stuff.
All right, so again, my name is Autumn the Aries, and I have a podcast called the Lit Life Podcast where I encourage you to live your life autonomously. I'm coming up on the end of season 3. It's been fun. It's been it can be stressful at times trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do. But I say all the time that I'm trying to do like this whole rebranding thing, and that's probably not happening either. I'm just making some minor adjustments for season 4. My show is really, it's just me making sure that you're living your life autonomously. I have, it's pretty funny. I think, a lot of people say that it's funny. I think it's funny too. I have a segment that everybody loves. You'll have to tune in to find out what it is. Or if you've already heard podcast happy hour, you know what it is. But I talk about a lot of things pertaining to myself. I have a lot of great guests. It's just I just think that it's one of those podcasts that's not just about one thing. It's not just about sports, it's not just about music, it's not just about love, it's not just about being a Zenio. It's not just about one thing, it's about so many different things, and I think that people can relate in that fashion. You can find the Lit Life Podcast and anything about me at autumnthearies.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at autumnthearies or at Autumn the Aries. You can I have visuals on YouTube, just putting a search Autumn the Aries or Lit Life Podcast, and I have a podcast fan page on Facebook at Lit Life Podcast. I go live every once in a while. I don't know, I just like to have fun. It's been it's kind of a little kind of like Tamara's podcast because it's like therapeutic for me. But it's just been a fun ride. So I hope that you guys decide to at least take me for a spin. It's a whole bunch of different random ass topics. So just scroll the list and just pick one and let me know what you thought about it.
And it's crazy. I'll say this, and I've just been thinking about this lately with mainly you. I'd say, I guess all y'all, if I'm honest, but I'll just say this to you. I was thinking earlier today, like, it's so crazy how I used to just listen to y'all's show. Like, I found Audrey's show first, and you were the first guest that I heard on her show. And because she wasn't on Twitter like that at that point, you were the first one I interacted with.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy that just going from being a fan of the show, which I still listen to the show, as you know.
Thank you.
to now we're friends, and it's not like, oh, even though we are some celebrity podcasters, but
A fact.
it's not even about that. It's just crazy that
We are where we are.
Yeah, like, and I was just thinking about that with all of us, because even with Jay, I used to just listen to her show too, and the Quick Three, and then
Right.
Chris's shenanigans, and Audrey,
Right.
who like be going on breaks and stuff. So
Right. Doing the most.
yeah, so it's kind of like listening to y'all lives just on your podcast, and then now we're all friends. It's crazy. So yeah, hers is definitely a show that I listen to regularly in my rotation. She's been a part of the podcast Happy Hour, so if you heard that, you've heard her. It's gonna come back around to the platform once we get through everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I guess the next thing we will get into is the weekly podcast shout out, which is Thanks for Coming, a RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. Now, it's funny because I met them in this retweet group, and I don't even watch that show, but I listen to their podcast just because they're entertaining. And also, the host, it's like three of them. The host, Seth, is the one who I interact with. I think he runs their Twitter. And we've just gone through so many different things in the group chat, and I just love him. So as a result of that, I listen to the show just because it's like I ain't never watched the RuPaul's Drag Race, but it don't matter because they're funny and entertaining. So I'll have
I
their
love shows like that.
Yeah, where there's a few others where I've never watched whatever they talking about, but they're entertaining. So it's like, hey, I tune in. I don't be knowing who John is or none of that stuff, but and then get y'all some merch. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep on saying this every week. It's hoodie season. Fellas, buy two, one for you, one for your lady. Spray your cologne on it. Boom, she ain't gonna steal your hoodie because she gonna have one. So
she might still steal it, but go ahead.
Don't say that.
I mean, it just is what it is. Still get two. I mean,
still get two. I mean, but
with
it's other
the
stuff
hope that you want
that
part,
you won't,
right?
That it's for
But I've never stolen a hoodie before.
Me neither. No, anyway. we had matching. Me and my ex, we had matching different colors, but matching jackets. But I never like stole any hoodie or none. We would just get matching stuff. And then, as always, as you should probably be able to tell by this episode, make sure you take care of your emotional and mental health. It is so important. Make sure you take care of your spiritual health, whatever that looks like for you. Be spiritually healthy. Physical health, too. You only got one body, so you got to make it do what it do. And you can't do what you were created to do or what you want to do or whatever if you're not taking care of yourself physically. So make sure you do all those good things. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I know you saw that 2 hours and was probably like, woo, but it be like that sometimes. And this was good stuff. And
it was a break in there. So
it was. And, and I hope y'all have some good takeaways and challenge yourself, whatever you're going to do to try to grow and not self-sabotage. Thank y'all so much.
Hold on. Podcast Happy Hour.
Oh, so by the time this airs, Podcast Happy Hour for November will have already aired. So the links to all that is in the episode notes. We're having another live show in December that'll be on Chris's platform. I don't know dates now, but if I know by the time this airs, you'll get a little bootleg insert in there that'll be like, hey, whatever.
Right.
It'll
probably be around the third weekend in December. There.
Yep, that's you right. So all of their social media stuff and links to their link tree, or I have just Autumn's website, it'd be in the show notes every week. So follow them, because then you could kind of see and stay up on what we finna be doing. I'll always tell you but at the same time, interact with them too. You know what I'm saying? Because listen to their show. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. So I think I got everything. Yes.
I think that
All
might be
right.
it.
So thank you so much, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
Peace.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...